Now it's electioneering season in Nigeria, and shades of opinions and action permeate the process. One of such is brewing outside the shores of the country. Nigerians in the diaspora have dragged President Buhari and the Independent National Electoral Commission before a federal high court sitting in Abuja, insisting that they must be allowed to take part in next year's elections. While the plaintiffs, who told the court that they are residents in the United Kingdom and various parts of the world, are seeking an order to compel INEC to allow them to vote. And they maintain that continued refusal by the electoral body to create room for them to take part in the elections amounts to a gross violation of their fundamental human rights. Abi, what do you make of this development now that elections are drawing closer? Do you see this as a valid case?
I think they are not trying to stop the election. You know, what they are doing is to bring the issue to the front burner. At come, we are Nigerians, maybe we are dual citizens, but we are entitled to vote in elections. We are entitled to participate in elections, in the running process, in the voting process. That's what they're trying to do. You know, and I don't think the judiciary will be so careless using this excuse to stop elections. But if you ask me, the constitution will have to be amended for this, for what you're asking for to be included. So we can do to have a good case. The constitution is not amended. There's nowhere in the constitution that is written that you can vote from abroad.
Diaspora voting.
You know, diaspora voting. You know, in some advanced countries, we have absentee voters. You know, or mail-in voting system.
Yeah.
If you're not able to participate individually, if you're not on ground in the countries, and you are residents abroad, you know, the constitution provides you, gives an opportunity to send in your mail by voting or by other ways. You know, but in Nigeria, that is not the case. I think this is why there has been a topic of discussion all these years. You know, I think they are raising this issue because we have elections next year. And I think they have a point. Let them push this thing forward. Let them test the system. Test the system. Let's see what comes out of it. But the constitution need to be amended for what they're asking for.
Right.
To be given.
So with that being said, Dari, if the constitution needs to be amended, what needs to be done? What are the processes involved if we're to pursue this in terms of ensuring that we have diaspora voting in our constitution and in our electoral act?
We just went through constitutional amendment processes championed by the National Assembly. And we saw that many parts of our constitution were amended. New things were introduced to further strengthen the system. And I think this development is not new. I want to believe that when proposals were demanded and submissions were being made to the National Assembly and Constitutional Amendment, they must have made their own proposals, send in their own position. In its wisdom, the National Assembly did not attend to it just yet. That's not to say it will not come to pass. Maybe they looked at a lot of things and the environment is not ripe or ready for it yet. I'm not speaking for them. But I am worried about this decision to go to court. I don't think it's tidy. We must avoid all forms of booby traps for this 2020. You see, when I read that for the first time, remember 1993 and the Nzeribe and others case, I didn't like it. Because sometimes some things we do carelessly ends up becoming some sort of booby traps for other intentions. These people are not just anybody. They are professionals, residents abroad. I'm sure lawyers and legal luminaries are among them. They know that there is no way the court will say, irrespective of what the Constitution says, you have to accommodate these people. That is one. They know that INEC is making provisions already, and they are not part of that provisions. If anything happens and they have to vote, it will require the INEC, start all over. They know what
the rigors,
what the position of our laws, our books are as of today on this issue. Knowing all this, they also know the law, and that's where my fear is. We cannot predict. Everyone was saying there is no way they will get what they want unless the constitution. I don't believe so. The law is an ass. They may decide not to look at it from the angle of what the constitution says about voting, but from the angle of fundamental human rights. And I will get into some trouble. You see, when it comes to issue of law, courts, litigations, I'm always very concerned, especially when those initiating these moves are no pushovers. There are people who know what they are doing. They have tested it. You said they should test the law. They have sat down, tested it very well between themselves, argued it over and said, there is this, we can go in through this. They are talking about fundamental human rights. It's a right to vote since they are Nigerians. We don't know the argument they will present to one judge, and the judge will look at it and say, hey, this is true. Why not? Accommodate them. Federal High Court sitting in somewhere have said, bam, trouble have started. It has to be appealed. And we'll go to appeal, say no, throw it away. 2 weeks to election, we are waiting for Supreme Court, and there will be anxiety. Some people already look at it that, why should I go and vote? That Supreme Court can say tomorrow that it's null and void. Then morale is lampooned, interest is defeated, anxiety is created. Well, I agree that we should look in the direction of diaspora voting because they are Nigerians. They contribute to our economy even by mere sending money home.
A lot of money.
If you know the volume of what comes in from these people,
A lot of money.
many of them have businesses sited here that people run for them and they are based there. They make money there, establish businesses here, employ people and pay them salaries. So we cannot correctly or fairly ignore them and think that that's how it will continue. But I want to appeal that don't let's joke with the head of the snake. Because this idea of going to court to test this thing at this crucial time, I'm not comfortable with it. And I appeal to them that there are better ways to
resolve this.
Right? No, to create awareness. I agree with you when they want to create awareness. It's good though. But they should be doing press conferences and, if possible, protests. But they should not go to court. It's too dangerous. It's
too dicey.
It's too dangerous.
Habib.
I don't share that sentiment.
Okay.
Because, you see, democracy is a journey. It's not a destination. There are pitfalls on the journey to democracy. Even America, the most admired democratic country in the whole world, you know, it still have problems. They still have a Trump whose president itself is inimical to go to the democracy. So if these people are saying that they have approached NAS, National Assembly is not responding, is not to dispose to their demands. At any point of stops of the president abroad, these are the things they used to raise. When are you going to vote? We are Nigerians. They are contributing to your economy. Last year, I think they brought more than $20 billion to the economy. After India, Bangladesh, and Pakistan, Nigeria is the other country. So I think there is a genuine demand that they are making. But at the same time, you know, we should not be too afraid to test other systems. You know, I don't think a judge will give you what you do not demand.
Right.
Absolutely,
they are demanding that the election should be stopped.
You can only give you what you demand.
They are demanding that the election should be stopped.
Stoppage. The judge will remind them that it's in the constitution that you must vote. You should not be too afraid, you know, to test all these things. That's my own point. You know, I don't think that can be compared to the BBN. You know.
No. It's not
compatible. It's not the same context.
If this is the case, Habib, how do you think this can be resolved? Because already from Darius' own point of view, it will create anxiety and possibly we don't know what the future will hold with the elections. But how do you think this can be managed?
To see the judiciary, according to Apadorai, the judiciary is a major plank of democracy. They can do and undo. Judiciary. And by trying to seek solace for the judiciary, they don't know what they are doing. And the judge too will look at the case. That the world is watching. We do the right thing. But as I said, it's an attempt by them to let the world know, to Nigerians know that come, we are here waiting. We need to vote. So I think by this, major stakeholders, and the executive and legislature, we come to the understanding of the fact that there is a need for urgency to deal with this matter.
All right, let me hold your thoughts on that. Let's quickly take this call. Idris from Bida, please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello?
Good evening. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. How is it?
Go ahead with your contribution,
Hello?
Idris. We can hear you. Go ahead.
So, please, what I want to say pertaining to what people are discussing, people that are taking the federal government in Nigeria here to the court. Hello? Can you hear me?
Idris, we can hear you. If you can't hear me, perhaps we will have to cut off the line.
No, that is what I'm saying. If they are saying that they need to contribute, I mean, they need to vote, they think they are right. Of course, nobody is disputing that. What about people even within Nigeria here, and they are not in the base where they were having access to vote? If they need to vote, and of course they know that they are right, then they should come to Nigeria afterwards. They should return home. They should stop causing issue one way or the other when they are being supported, or maybe they are being pushed by or maybe some politicians. It is not ideal. We need peace in Nigeria. We don't want all this talk, all this issue that we cannot be able to handle. Even if we can handle it, we don't need to be troublesome each other another.
All right, point taken there, Idris. Thank you so much for your contribution. Dari.
That's exactly what I'm saying, the anxiety.
It's an opinion anyway.
That's anxiety. It's anxious that these people have, he said something, which I don't share.
So maybe they are being pushed by the politicians.
No. But that is the kind of thing that will happen when you have situations like 1, 2, 3 people begin to feel that way. Then one disgruntled or opportunistic politicians to see it as something you can
whip sentiments.
Used to get some sentiments. And then before you know it, we have that on our hand. I can only appeal to my brothers and sisters in the diaspora that the issue is fundamental, it is serious, it is germane. But there are better ways to create awareness. You don't sleep peacefully or comfortably when there is fire on your rooftop. I'm sure they don't want to stop the election. I agree with you. They don't want to stop the election. They just feel that let's create some serious issues here. Yes, this is serious enough for anybody. Even I'm sure INEC will be worried. National Assembly that release money for INEC to go and do election will be bothered. Federal government that is packing its load to go and somebody else will be worried. Nobody wants any serious issue
to disrupt the process.
Let the process just move
seamlessly.
But this is something nobody will ignore. They made their mark. If they know how to go and withdraw the case, I will appreciate it too.
All right. That's a fine place to live.